Sons so shook and grown, disobedience turned their hearts to stone. Rejected the truth, lost in the zone. Now they're paying rent in Hades' bone home.
Greeting, this is back.
Shelter in the night, underworld gates that eternal fright. Denials echo through Tartarus.
Guess who's back?
These facts could have saved their plight. Lightning crack, no way back. Lost on brimstone track. Ignorance, gotta pay the toll.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Face the dole.
We're once again back.
Boats too full to float. Whales of the foolish.
Hey.
Denied being decree not the jolt. Eternal chains, no antidote. Gods convene, truth unseen. Demigods whisper, lost souls scream.
Hey.
Follow the path or drown in the stream. Zeus' wrath, a cruel dream.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Lost in sulfur, desperate crowd. Zeus watches from Olympus cloud.
Oh yeah.
Rejecting truth, their fates avowed.
No. I'm not crying, Tiny. Knock it off, Tiny. Ronnie Jenkins, thank you for the subscription. Don't worry. I'll take care of that. I'll lower your taxes. Don't worry. All right. Yeah. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You know, the show must go on. All right. I mean, we got to do what we got to do out here, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Let's keep it going. Hey, Q-Dog, my brother. Tiffany for the people, I see you. Let's go. Hey, let's go. Good morning, everyone. No tears, just lessons learned. All right. Welcome to the show, everyone. Welcome back. Once again, we are in the Thunderdome. I'm your host, I'm your pilot, and you know exactly why we are here, all right? But before we get started, make sure I introduce myself. For those of you who do not know who I am, I go by the name Zeus, or as some like to say, Triple H. And why do they call me Triple H? Well, it's quite simple. The first H is because I'm honest, the second H is because I'm humble, and the last and the final H, ladies and gentlemen, is because you've guessed it, I am and will always remain the most handsome. Yeah. All right, you know why we are here, but you know what? I realized something. I got to do a little different, all right, because things have changed in this country since the election, all right? But make no mistake, our values, they've never changed. I'm still going to call right, wrong, all right? But we are at a pivotal moment in this country, all right? And so with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we will get right back into this and cover the things that I think matter the most. All right. So we're done with the election. I don't want to relitigate it, but we got to get some things on the record in the kingdom, right? So the first thing I'm going to get on record is yesterday, our Vice President, Kamala Harris, she showed up and she gave a nice concession speech, all right? And I just want to get a little bit of it on the record, all right? If you don't mind, all right? And then we'll wait. I'll talk about it in just a quick second, all right? But bear with me, all right? This, by the way, this is an example of what real leadership looks like, okay? We're in the United States. This is a divided country, all right? There's two Americas. One where folks like me, Zeus, they call me Big Zeus actually, we understand maybe we're not the ones in charge, but it doesn't take away from the fact that we got a lot of work to do, all right? Especially behind the scenes. And I'm going to be a little more tight-lipped about some of the things that I think need to get done because, to be quite honest, I've sat back and I've listened to a lot of people say a lot of things and I'll say this. Right now, a lot of people are hurt, and they're just saying what comes to their minds, but give it about a week or so, all right? They'll come to their senses, right? Yeah, I mean, I've heard a lot. You know, they say Elon did some sneaky stuff. There's some things missing with the votes, but, you know, I'll say this, despite all of that, I'm going to go with my gut and say, you know, those things that involve, you know, how people feel about people of color and women, I think that had a big part to do with this. And I had to think to myself, That's pretty much America's bread and butter, all right? So all it means is we got a lot of work to do, all right? But I'm still going to stand firm on the fact that Vice President Kamala Harris ran a flawless campaign, all right? And assuming the country had evolved to the place we need it to be, her campaign would have made her the next president of the United States easily. So the outcome we got wasn't the outcome we wanted, but it did reveal that America, as citizens of this country, we got a lot of work to do still. Let's listen to our vice president, all right? Hold on a quick second. And then I'll go to the box and I'll talk to all of you. Don't worry. Don't worry, but this needs to be discussed. Listen to our vice president. Good morning, everyone. Gina, good morning. This is our vice president. I mean, fierce. Thank you, Kamala. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. This is our vice president. Gotta love this woman.
Good afternoon.
Go ahead.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So let me say, and I love you back. And I love you back.
I love you too.
So let me say,
What did you got?
my heart is full today.
That part.
My heart is full today. Full of gratitude for the trust you have placed in me. Full of love for our country.
Amen.
And full of resolve. The outcome of this election is not what we wanted, not what we fought for,
That part.
not what we voted for.
Amen.
But hear me when I say,
Hear
me when I say, the light of America's promise will always burn bright.
Amen. Amen.
As long as we never give up, and as long as we keep fighting.
Yeah. This is the vice president, by the way, if you don't know.
To my beloved Doug and our family, I love you so very much.
Amen. That's what we do. This is
To
leadership.
President Biden and Dr. Biden, thank you for your faith and support.
Thank you.
To Governor
Cover the
Walz and the
groundwork.
Walz family, I know your service to our nation will continue.
Cover the groundwork, Kamala. Thank you.
And to my extraordinary team, to the volunteers who gave so much of themselves.
All of you out there on TikTok too. We all gave
to
so
the
much of
poll
ourselves, didn't
workers
we?
and the local election officials.
Amen.
I thank you. I thank you
This
all.
woman is amazing.
Look, I am so proud of the race we ran.
Me too.
And the way we ran it. And the way we ran it.
Amen.
Over the 107 days of this campaign,
Amen.
we have been intentional
Uh-huh.
about building community and building coalitions.
Amen.
Bringing people together from every walk of life and background.
Amen.
United by love of country with enthusiasm and joy in our fight for America's future.
Amen. She's right.
And we did it with the knowledge that we all have so much more in common than what separates us. Now I know
You're right, it is classy.
folks are feeling and experiencing a range of emotions right now.
That's true.
I get it. But we must accept the results of this election. Earlier today, I spoke with President-elect Trump and congratulated him on his victory. I also told him that we will help him and his team with their transition, and that we will engage in a peaceful transfer of power.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go right there. And that's where I'm going to put a pin in it. That's how a real leader should do it. You got to engage in the peaceful transfer of power. And so I want to congratulate Vice President Kamala Harris once again. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give Kamala Harris another round of applause. Right, Q-Dog? Classy, not trashy. Now we need to move, and I'm going to go to the box, because today's show, what did I want to bring up? Because Donald Trump is now the president, and I want everyone to know that, unfortunately, I was sad. I've been sad for 2 days, right? Because and I did hear a lot of people give me a lot of feedback yesterday, all right? And I've been processing it. I'm still going to process it, but I am really at the point now where I am full. I'm like, my heart 100%, my mind 100%, my soul. I'm ready to see this MAGA America. How many of you want to see the MAGA America? Please put a 1 in the chat if you want to see MAGA America. Put a 1 in the chat, please, if you want to see MAGA America. All right, I'm with you. I love it, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! So, what do I want to start? Well, yesterday, Nick Fuentes, you all heard what he said. You know who this guy is, Nick Fuentes, right? He said something, and it's circulating all over the internet. For the women out there, any women out there that voted for Donald Trump, I need you to listen to what he said real quick.
The feel when you're totally not pressed. The feel when we control your bodies. Hey, bitch, we control your bodies. Guess what? Guys win again, okay? Men win again. And yes, we control your bodies. Hi, I'm your Republican congressman. Hi, I'm your Republican congressman. It's your body, my choice. And men, women again. Men win again. There will never, ever be a female president. Never. There will never be a female president, ever. It's over. Glass ceiling. Dude, it's a ceiling made of fucking bricks. You will never break it. Your stupid face keeps hitting the brick ceiling. We will keep you down forever. You will never control your own bodies. You will never be the president of the global empire. Never gonna happen, sweetie. Your body, our choice.
Now, prior to the election, I'd have been very upset about that comment. All right, but I've looked at the data. I've looked at it, and there's women that voted for Donald Trump, right? So, the people have spoken, and so I just want people to know I can't be angry. I can't be sad. I mean, to my fellow Democrats out there and the people who understand the difference between right and wrong, you know how we feel about that. But the people want what they want, right? Here in California, I know, and maybe other states like New York, they're doing a number of things to protect women and their rights. So that's I understand that, and I got comfort in knowing that. But I just got to say this. I got to say it. If you're a woman in a red state and things start to happen, I don't know if I have it in me, especially if you tell me you voted for Trump. I don't know if I have it in me to go there with you at this point, because I'm kind of exhausted, to be honest. And it's not like I'm trying to judge you. I don't want to judge you at all. But I just want you to know, if I don't come across like I'm concerned, it doesn't mean that I don't care. I'm just a little exhausted, because from the way that I see it, not just me, but a lot of my friends, Democrats and real Republicans, we've been trying to sound the alarm on Donald Trump and basically let you all know this guy is pretty. I'm not going to even say it. I don't even want to say his name anymore. All right. Let me go ahead and move it to the next part, because I'm going to open up the boxes. But I said this is MAGA America, and I'm just helping you all understand what MAGA America looks like, because a lot of people are celebrating. If I were a Trump supporter. If I were a Trump supporter and Donald Trump won, I'd be celebrating too, right? So I get it. I totally get it. All right. But, one thing is we win. The next thing is, what does our reality look like? So here's another conversation that took place. This is another conversation that took place. And this is a white guy explaining why he voted for Donald Trump.
But I want to know how it is you voted for Donald Trump when you're so into facts, because his entire campaign is not based in facts. It was all based in propaganda and emotion.
I voted for Donald Trump for one reason only. His policies, if implemented, would slow the dispossession of whites in the United States.
So this white guy said, I voted for Donald Trump because his policies would slow the dispossession of whites in the United States. I don't know what that means, but if you know what that means, please look into that and we'll talk about it in just a quick second.
If you were to deport all illegal immigrants, if you were to think very hard about letting in any Muslims, all of this would slow the rate at which whites are becoming a minority.
Why are you so worried about the white dispossession of America?
Because I want my people to survive. Is that so strange? We don't control China. We don't control any place where whites are not a majority. And if we become a minority, we will not control our own destiny anymore.
I grew up in this country as a minority, as the children of immigrants. I was their first child born in America. And while I didn't have much possession or didn't much control, I really enjoyed myself. And I think that if you ask a lot of Americans, they would say that I had a lot to offer this country. You know, according to you, I guess I would be perpetuating the dispossession of white America.
That is true. That is true.
Would you say that you wouldn't want me in this country?
At some point, when my ancestors built this nation, they did not build it with the intention of giving it away to Mexicans or Chinese or Haitians or to anyone else.
Do you consider, you keep saying your ancestors built this country, you consider that a fact?
Who else built it?
Black people, Native Americans, Chinese people who came and built the railroads.
Do you think none of that could have been
Italian people?
But they're Europeans, aren't they?
He said, those Italians, they're Europeans, aren't they? Woo! I mean, it is what it is. All right. One more. And then honestly, I'm going to go to the box because I don't mind hearing from people no matter what side of the aisle you're on. I honestly don't. I feel comfortable knowing that I did my darndest to, warn people, but it is what it is. All right. Now, Byron Donalds was on MSNBC yesterday and he brought up mass deportation of immigrants, and I just want to get this on the record too. All of this is a prelude to what's coming, right, ladies and gentlemen? So let's listen up. This is we're about to get back into MAGA America, or as that previous guy said, white America. Let's go.
Young men and women recipients of DACA that know of no other country but this one. And there is, among those people and many others, a palpable sense of fear for what may the future hold for them. What is your message to those people?
My message is clear. Right now, under the administration of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, there's been about 500,000 people in our country let in who are convicted of crimes. 14,000 convicted of murder. Those people are going to go home immediately. After that, then you have about another 6 to 8, maybe 10 million, maybe more that have come in through these wide open asylum procedures under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. They've overwhelmed our cities. Now, if you want to talk about the people who've been here much longer than that, then we're going to have to get to that one as well. But this is going to be a humane process because what is inhumane is leaving our borders massively open.
Young men and women recipients.
Okay, so mass deportations are definitely on the horizon. So now that I've entered the evidence, all right, you know how we do this on this show? We're going to have these tough conversations about what is coming down the pipe, all right? All right, so if you want to talk to Zeus, ladies and gentlemen, you know what it is. Send me a guest request and I'll bring you up as soon as possible. Oh my goodness, here we go again with the TikTok and stuff, all right? Here we go. Hold on. Just give me a quick second. All right. I love you too. Don't worry. A lot of people didn't think I was going to come back on and do more content. Who raised bail for BLM rioters? Heather, did you want to talk to me, Heather? Come on up here, Heather, for something. There we go. My box now works. All right. Yeah, you just gotta keep pressing the issue. All right. All right. Who do we got next? Who do we got? Who is this right here? Good morning, Heather. How are you?
I'm doing fabulous.
You're a Trump supporter?
Of course. I've talked to you before.
Oh, okay. Well, are you happy with the results of the election?
I could not be more happier. You guys.
Wow. Good. So what are you looking forward to this administration.
The financial reset, Jassera Nacera, seeing the deep state go to Gitmo, watching military tribunals take place for their crimes against humanity. I'm looking forward to a lot, Zeus, and seeing all you people have to eat crow for supporting pedophiles.
Oh, now listen, Heather, come on now. No, we don't talk like that on the show. Now you got to keep it TikTok friendly, P3DOs or PDF files. All right, I don't need the live to get in trouble. All right.
Okay. Well,
now I understand that you're happy, but I don't agree with any of that you're pushing. But
okay.
I get it. You feel like you won, and you feel like all of this is going to happen. So you believe Donald Trump is going to bring down those prices of like eggs and gas and your utility bills? Because
everything was way cheaper when.
All right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. She's right, I guess. There you go. Now I don't agree with that, but
What were mortgage rates? What was gasoline? What were groceries? Everything is now 3 times what it
Lord
used
have
to
mercy. Lord have mercy. All right.
Biden hired 87,000 IRS agents to come after people. People that protested a stolen election are sitting in a DC gulag under this administration, and they just passed legislation that police can kill
unalive. I mean, you must not go live a lot because
I don't.
Sometimes you say words. Yeah, you say words that can get things flagged, and I think, I'm going to let you enjoy the moment, and because you know what. If I win, I want people to just sit back and watch me gloat and rub it in their face. So I get that, all right. But I gotta make sure you're not breaking the rules in terms of the live.
Okay, unalive.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, let's just say Donald Trump gets in there and the gas doesn't come down to what we think it should be. Inflation doesn't come down, and we actually end up in conflict or perhaps a real war.
Okay.
What would you do then?
Well, who is the one that wants to draft kids? Did any wars start under
I was
Donald
just curious.
Trump?
No,
none. Okay, but wars have broken out all over the place under your guy. And they've now made it that 18 to 28-year-olds have to register for the draft. Okay? You want your kids going off to war? In a foreign land?
No.
To fight globalist banker wars?
Oh my God.
Do you know about Executive Order 13818 and what that entails or Executive Order 13818?
Heather, you won. Lord, Heather, look at that, Heather. It said you were removed for violating. I mean, I didn't want to warm up the lake of fire, but Heather, if you break the community guidelines, I got to throw you in. Ladies and gentlemen, let me warm up the lake of fire for Heather for breaking the community guidelines. Heather, please, any other Trump supporter, please, don't come up here and break the community guidelines, all right? I'm going to let you talk because you are winning, but no misinformation and disinformation, all right? Heather, the MAGA demon, unfortunately got you compromised, all right? Let's give Heather what she deserves. I love you, Heather, but you're wrong. Lord have mercy.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
Listen, I'm a uniter, not a divider. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, Zeus has to hear people out. Now, for the sake of this show, and we're going in a little bit of a different direction to my fellow Democrats, I want you to understand, I don't agree with nothing these people are saying, unless I say I agree with it. All right. However, I am in research mode like you've never seen. I really want to get a clear understanding of how I lost, so I don't ever lose again, all right? So I only want to play with winners on the team. I don't want to play with crybabies, all right? So if you are still committed to winning, you know what to do, all right? But if you don't want to win again, you might just want to sit on the sideline and let Zeus do what he does, all right? I love you all as well, all right? And by the way, you all are looking so great, so amazing, and you deserve a round of applause. I want to make sure you all understand that. All right, let me go in the box and bring up my next panelist. All right. Oh, look who I get to talk to. Takesha, I haven't heard from you or seen you in days. How are you?
I'm okay, Zeus. How you doing?
Good. I'm all right. I'm all right. You know, we're just getting some of these tough conversations out of the way. You heard what I put on the record. Any thoughts?
Let me say this, Zeus, because I got two things I need to say.
Go for it.
I'm gonna need a little extra time. The first thing I want to say is when Donald Trump said months ago that I got all the votes that I need. Yeah, he stole this. And I'm gonna stand on that. But you know, the Lord will reveal it in time.
Amen.
I'm gonna step back from that because ain't no way the results came in that fast. There's no way that he got all those votes. He got something went wrong. But like I said, the Lord will reveal it in time.
Amen.
So let me say this right here, Zeus. You know, because they say they Christians. So I'm sure they read their word. And when I got up at 2-something and I saw the results, you know, I had to ask the Lord to give me some peace.
Amen.
He gave me a word, Zeus, and it came out of Proverbs 21, where it says that the king's heart is in the hand of God and he does with it what he wants. Amen. And so after I read that chapter that he gave me, Zeus, he also gave me this, and this is what I want to give you, and then I'm going to get down.
Okay.
You remember the story of the children of Israel when God was leading them to the land of milk and honey? And you remember when they got captured and he told Pharaoh, let my people go?
Yeah.
You know, and he brought them on out of captivity.
Yep. Yep.
And he put them in a safe place. And they said they was hungry. And he gave them manna from heaven. And they started complaining, Zeus. He gave them what they needed, but Zeus, they wanted to go back. So they thought they was prosperous, Zeus. They wanted to go back where they probably had chicken and rice and, you know, green beans, and they were able to just party and do what they wanted to do. They didn't care that they was under a king that was unholy. They was under a king that didn't care nothing about them. They was under a king that just wanted to reign over them. So they kept saying, Lord, we want a king. And the Lord kept saying, I'm your God. You don't need a king.
Right.
But they still wanted that king. They wanted to go back into captivity because of all the prosperity they received back there. And God kept saying, you don't need a king because I'm your God.
Amen.
But they kept begging and they kept begging, Zeus, and they kept
Preach
begging.
it.
And they didn't want to endure the hardship to get to the land of milk and honey. They wanted to go back where they felt like they were prosperous, Zeus.
Amen.
So God stepped back. And he gave them a king, Zeus, and they suffered. That's America.
Fair enough.
God delivered us from Trump in 2020. And we went through some hard times, Zeus, and we might not have been able to get all we wanted, but he made sure we had what we needed.
Amen.
We were so hungry, Zeus. They were still able to buy gas even though it was higher. They were able to buy food even though it was higher. But they didn't keep their mind on God. He got a place for us to go, Zeus.
Amen.
Full of milk and honey. But we had to go through the hard times to get there, Zeus. But America wanted to go back.
Amen.
Prosperous because they're a country that just want to be rich.
Amen.
They don't care who they under, Zeus.
Y'all show Takesha some love out there. Come on, she preaching. Go ahead, Takesha. Go ahead. Tell them, Takesha. I knew you had it.
There's an unholy man. They don't care that he want to be a dictator. They don't care that he's a felon. They don't care that he has no character. They don't care that he has no morals. All they would think about was some cheap gas prices and some lower prices on some eggs. And God delivered them right back to him. But what I want them to understand, they're going to be smiling today. But come January the 7th, on through these 4 years, they're going to be crying like hell. Because we finna go through a season of sorrow. But those of us who are on the side of right, we going to be okay.
Amen.
But those who beg for that king, they finna suffer. And I don't care what nobody say in the comments. I don't care what nobody say. They get up here behind me. I know what God showed me. You're finna fall into some destruction, and it's going to be your fault because you begged for a king instead of the Lord.
Amen. Bye, Takesha. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give the beautiful Takesha a round of applause. See, this is what I'm saying. I can tell right now, Takesha, she wants to be on the starting five. All right, you're on your way there, Takesha. Thank you so much. This is what we're saying, ladies and gentlemen. It's not what goes on when you got the game going. It's also what you're doing in the off season. Are you practicing? Are you praying? All right, are you asking for guidance? Are you educating yourself? Because see, that's what this is about. I don't got time to dwell on the loss anymore, but I am taking lessons. I am taking notes. All right. I'm going to go to the box again. And by the way, again, thank you everyone that is here. You could have been anywhere, but you chose to be here this morning. I want to make sure I talk to you and, get the truth out there. All right. All right, who do we got next, ladies and gentlemen? Oh my goodness, I'll just start where I am at right now. Who are we at right here? I don't think I've ever spoken to you before, but we'll speak.
Zeus,
How do you say your name?
Myrna,
Myrna, how are you
Myrna.
this morning? Good morning, Myrna.
I'm fine. Good
Okay.
morning. Shalom.
All right. Are you
I
okay?
do have a warning to Yah, God's people.
Mm,
Let them lay in their bed.
mm,
The morning before the election, I don't know if I was awake or asleep,
mm,
but I saw on my TV a red horse,
mm,
like it was covered in blood. A horse
mm,
just like was completely red. And when I woke up, I said to Adonai, I said, Lord, Lord, I see it. I see it. And that red horse, when I looked in the word, it
mm.
only gave me 3 verses.
What did it say?
It says Revelation, the 6th chapter, verses 1 to 4, talks about the red horse
Mm,
being released on the earth to take away peace.
mm,
And unto that red horse was given a great sword.
mm.
Now, that's in the New Testament.
Amen.
But when I went into the Old,
Amen.
he gave me Zechariah 1 and 8, which talks about the red horse and
Mm.
how it would be released and what it done
Well, they
to
got
the
red hats too, right? So that's kind of
yeah.
interesting. Red hats and red horses.
And he also gave me Zechariah 8 and 6.
Mm.
So my advice to those who know their God,
Yeah.
their God, not this God, because what we have to keep in mind,
Mm-hmm.
this is not our earth. This is not our earth. We are looking for a new earth and a new heaven.
Amen.
Keep your eyes up. Watch and pray
Amen.
so that you will not be pulled into temptation.
Mm.
Keep your eyes on the upper prize,
Amen.
not the earthly prize.
Amen.
And I will leave you people with that.
All right,
Love
Myrna.
you guys
Love
to
you
life.
too. All right, love you too. And keep the faith. All right, keep up the great work. All right.
Mhm.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give Myrna a round of applause. See, this is what we're doing, ladies and gentlemen. All right, all right, all right. Now listen, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, I'm a fair host. All right, I'll talk to anybody. If you're a Trump supporter, please put a 1 in the chat. We're going to go play ping pong. All right, if you're MAGA, put a 1 in the chat, because as far as I'm concerned, I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. Look at all these Trump supporters that there you go. I knew you were out here. Let's get it out in the open. All right, here we go. Chunky Cajun, come on up here, Chunky Cajun. Oh my God. Good morning. How are you? What's going on? Hey, He single-handedly kept America from having the first female president twice.
Yep.
Well, they say she was president for 1 hour when Biden underwent an operation. So, I mean, maybe that's not quite true,
They
right?
didn't invoke the 14th. She was not president. So again, I'll take that as a win. If we only had it for 1 minute, that was the worst 1 minute America's ever experienced.
Got it. So, are you happy? You seem very happy.
Look, man, I'm happy, but also in a sense, I think we need to come together as a nation. I think it's time to stop with all the rhetoric and all the name calling and all the hatred. I think it's time to for us to come together under one president. You may not like who won. I didn't like when Biden won. I didn't like what happened on January 6th. But we need to come together as a nation. We need to heal. And I'm going to be honest with you. I hope you guys on TikTok with these large followings that are promoted by TikTok continue to spout the rhetoric you do, because it's going to make 2028 even worse. If you don't land on policy, if you don't start arguing on actual policy, and you don't start speaking facts, you're going to lose again.
But did you hear what I played earlier? This gentleman that was talking about.
Do you know who Nick Fuentes is?
Yeah.
Okay, who's Nick Fuentes?
Well, I don't want to get into the ideology that he supports, but I know what he is and what he's about.
He's an all-right leader. He believes in some pretty horrible and terrible things. We can both agree on that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that is not somebody that Donald Trump supports, and that's the far-right leaning ideology of my side.
Oh, so you're saying, okay, so we shouldn't be concerned about things he's saying, because in that video,
he doesn't hold any weight in policy of what goes on.
But
he holds no weight in it. What he believes is ironic. Is what he believes it doesn't matter.
But there was the Supreme Court. Let me just make sure it did get packed with conservatives, right? And they did overturn Roe versus Wade. So you can't just say there's not been.
But even Ruth Bader Ginsburg said Roe versus Wade was made to be overturned.
I get it. I get that, but it happened under Trump, right?
It doesn't matter who it happened. It was meant to be overturned.
But the narrative that he's giving, the narrative that he's giving is that basically he has control over women's bodies, and that
Do you believe that all women should have a choice?
Do I believe? I don't think what I believe matters at this point, right? But you know what I believe.
Well, I'm asking you for your personal belief. You believe like I do that all women should have a choice.
Yes.
So what about the women who are pro-life? They had no choice.
How do you figure?
Because Roe versus Wade made it legal, and they didn't have a say in it. When you send it back to the states, that gives direct right for the people to vote on it and vote on what they believe. That gives women an actual choice.
But
it gives women who believe opposite. Like, look at the suffrage unit and the voting rights in the 40s, right? You're going to disagree with me that the non-suffragettes were the ones who were the majority and didn't want the right to vote because it came with certain responsibilities?
Well, I'll say it this way. From your opinion and your perspective, you still might believe the states are giving women rights because it's been sent back to the states. But what do you say to those women who have lost their lives because they didn't get any of the care they needed then?
Yeah.
Did they choose to lose their life? I guess I'm just not clear.
The instances that you're talking about, the two in Texas and the one in Georgia. The one in Georgia, they've already said it had nothing to do with the law. The two in Texas, it had nothing to do with the law. It was the doctors who did that. But again, show me where this is happening en masse, and show me where these women can't get in a car and go to a state that actually believes what they believe. And ultimately, that's what it is. When you send it back to the states, it actually gives people a right to choose.
I disagree. I'm just going to disagree with it. But, you won. Your guy won. To me, if you want me to honestly give you my opinion about why Trump won, and because a lot of people keep saying it's policy, I don't think it is that. I think it goes back to this video that I just played about the white gentleman talking about white disposition.
Well, did he say anything negative about any other race?
In my opinion, he did, but he basically, You must not have heard the video.
I listened to the thing from start to finish. He said nothing. So
he said something along the lines like white people built this country, right? And then basically
white people. Well, was it majority white that fought in the Civil War?
I don't know. Maybe
majority white that fought in the Revolutionary War. Was it all white that voted for the 1964 Civil Rights Bill?
So I believe the direction you're going, right? I'm not agreeing with you, but I think the direction you're going is you believe white people built this country.
It's not about what I believe. It's
based on the facts. Based on the facts that you have access to, your belief is that white people really did build this country.
Not a belief. I'm asking you a specific question. Was it majority white that did all these things?
I can't give you 100% credit for that because I know, huh?
It was.
I
It was unequivocally white men that did that. So while yes, white men have done some horrible things, every race has done horrible things. Why can't we celebrate the wonderful things that white people have done for this nation? Why
Lord
can't
have
you
mercy.
celebrate the fact that they gave us free? They gave us a free nation. They freed people. They gave women the right to vote. They gave black people the right to vote. They made black people citizens. I mean, and realistically, what I'm talking about is people who did good, but not caveating that there were horrible things. Your white people were enslavers. There were horrible things that were done, but based white people who believed in the freedom of all went forth and fought for this. And why is it wrong to celebrate these people? And why do we only focus on the bad?
That's interesting perspective. I disagree with it, but it's an interesting perspective.
Yeah, I'm not.
Why can't you? Why can't you? I mean, the thing is, what I don't want to do, because this is race relations in the United States is a very serious issue, and we're not going to be able to resolve it on one conversation on TikTok. But what I really want to get at is the truth behind why Kamala didn't win, the truth behind why Hillary didn't win, or you know what I mean? And as much as people want to say it's about policy, it's only about, as far as I'm concerned, it's about policy that preserves whiteness. And I think we need to just go ahead and put that, make that the real point. Because that's what the gentleman just said, white disposition. And you kind of are arguing it. You're kind of...
I'm arguing for the fact that white people have done really good things in this nation, and I'm saying like the only focus.
But don't you think every race has contributed? I mean, because first of all, the country wasn't, Native Americans occupied it first, so it was taken. You would argue that's a good thing in your perspective. I mean, you can see how other people would say that's a very terrible thing.
Historically, things
and then you bring in the whole thing behind slavery. Others would say that's a terrible thing, and you would say
it was a terrible thing. I said white people are the ones who freed the slaves,
and that's still, you don't get points. Okay, you know what?
Do you disagree that that's a good thing?
I think saying that is wild.
No, it's true.
It's like
who freed slaves in the United States? The white North, the white Protestant North. It was white Protestant northern preachers that went down into the South and started this movement. And if you really want to go and you want to look at it specifically, it was white. It was white and black Protestant preachers that went down to the South and were unalive.
What if other people have a completely different opinion about what you're saying?
Facts don't care about how you feel. These are facts. As a matter of fact, you can look up something called the Slave Bible. The South specifically wrote a specific Bible for slaves that took out all the free will stuff, so that way they could justify their position. That's why the Southern slave movement was not a Christian movement. The Christian movement was the one that came down and sacrificed themselves to free people who were being held.
I got it. Okay, well, you know what? I'll say this. You and I are just going to have to agree to disagree.
Give me 1 second if you don't mind. Can I have one more minute before we leave?
Yes, sir. I got to bring up other people. There's going to be people who completely disagree with you, but you know what? I would say you honestly believe that. So I think what you said is very critical, all right? Because this is what's going to be going on in the next 4 years, all right?
If you continue your rhetoric, you're going to lose again. If you don't base it off facts, you're going to lose again because people know what you say is not true. And I'm just giving you
wait a second. What do you mean? I don't personally, here's my honest opinion. I don't think it has a lot to do with our rhetoric. I think it has to do with preserving the white.
You need to accept the fact that what you think is not right. That's why you lost.
So let me be honest with you. Is it wrong for a man to SA a woman?
He was not found.
I didn't say Trump. I just said a man. I don't even want to mention Donald Trump's name when I asked the.
Underneath my belief structure, if a man essays or grapes a woman, that man should be put to death.
Well, I didn't ask all of that. I just said, is it wrong? And I'm going to still. So my values. So Chunky, my values are never going to change, right? I think I don't need the government to tell me the difference between right and wrong. I still believe women should be able to choose how to take care of themselves, especially when it comes to their reproductive freedoms. I still think there are issues
Not
around.
reproductive freedom.
But listen,
You're stopping the reproduction.
I get
It's
it.
not reproductive freedom. When you stop reproduction, it's not
Did you
reproduction.
wait a second? But I'm not saying what I'm saying is right. I'm just letting you know I'm not changing in terms of those values. All
Well,
right.
I'm not saying you have to change. I'm saying if your message doesn't change, if you continue to demonize people who went for this side, you're going to lose again.
But
Because they're gonna go our side.
but that's kind of the issue, though. I would have appreciated more honest conversations about what the real issue was. It really wasn't about policies in the sense that, you know, y'all wanted to have a good economy, y'all wanted to really solve immigration. The policies, from the way that I'm processing this, is as long as those policies preserved whiteness, then you all supported it.
And
Because
that's the problem is that right there, that very message is false. Because if you look at it,
but he just said it.
But that guy said that. Trump didn't say that, and that's
I
the
get it,
problem.
but he's a voter.
Let me finish. Allow me to
He's a
finish.
voter, though.
You're conflating one side to the other. Like if I say that every time I listen to you people talk and say it's all about racism, then just saying that your side is completely focused on racism, that's not the truth. Your side didn't vote on that. Your side ran on reproductive freedom, and which is the most hilarious thing I've ever heard in my life.
Well,
Because it's not
that's your
reproduction.
opinion. That's your
Yeah.
opinion. There were multiple
It's not
issues.
reproduction because it ends reproduction. But again, you ran on
So
that.
what?
and you
Okay.
lost.
Well, listen, we got to wrap it up. So what? Last word. So what are you saying to women in red states? Again, what is your message to the women in red states that might need access to reproductive care? What is your message to them?
Every state in the union right now has exceptions for the life of the mother. So if you're in a life threatening situation, don't believe the hype. You absolutely unequivocally can get an AB because it's your health. Don't believe what they tell you. Don't believe the rhetoric that the left's telling you. It's not true. And if you want something that's elective, you can go to a state that has it and you can go have their values. Our
All right.
values are what matters.
All right. Well, listen, Chunky Cajun, great conversation. I don't agree with a lot of what you said, but I think that was probably an honest conversation that I had from a Trump supporter in quite a while. All right. It wasn't about all the pivoting. It was about what you wanted. All right. I'm going to move on to the next guest. All right. And I'll see you. All right. I'll see you next time. All right. All right. Wow. That was something else, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, my goodness. That was something else. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, you know, I think we're getting into what the real issue was this election, and I'm still not convinced it was about, you know, immigration and policies or anything of that nature. I think it was what that one video said. All right, so you know, this is where we're going, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's bring up the next panelist. Who do we got next? Good morning, Fuzzard. How are you doing this morning? Long time no see.
How's it going, buddy?
I'm all right. What are your thoughts?
Give me 1 second. I wanna. There we go.
Good. All right. Welcome, Buzzer. What are your thoughts?
I do look forward to January 22nd. Basically, everything's gonna be changed.
All right. In what sense?
Well, gas will be free. The wars will be over. Steaks will be $3.
Yeah.
You should have. That's when you should have bought Snuggles and steaks.
Wow. After the price of the steaks went down. Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
So gas. Well, your utility bill is supposed to go down 50%. All right. What do you and what about the mass deportations?
Well, we don't need them here anyways. Right?
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah.
What are they doing? They're only paying, I don't know, over $9 billion in taxes and not taking advantage of it. They're only supporting our Social Security. But hey, what do we need them there? But anyway.
Wow. What a country we're living in, right?
It's a little disappointing. I was actually listening to a conservative live just a little while ago before I came in here, and there's a guy in there. They just don't know. Well, you know how hard it's going to be to get a negative, a deflation going, a negative inflation. It's like, wait a second, we don't want a negative inflation. That's called a recession. But they just.
Do you think Donald Trump's economic policies will lead to a recession?
100%. 100%.
What do you? Okay, let's. So
if he's able to pull through what he says he's going to.
Well, he's going to put tariffs on everything, right? His favorite word is tariffs.
He said it. That's gonna be me. You can't take away. Well, it started off no tax on tips. Tips are a big part, and understand. I worked in the service industry. You don't claim all your tips. I don't care who you are, but no tax on tips. And then he's also talked about getting rid of the income tax. We're not going to get our money from tariffs because all you're doing is taxing us. It would be a
but Fuzzard, here's where I'm at with this. Like, it's almost like I feel I just need to get out of the way because Donald Trump and his supporters, and I've said this to a few people, it's like a toxic couple. You keep trying to tell them they're no good for each other, and you get in the way, and they blame you, they blame us, right? And it's like, you know what? Let's just let them get together and do whatever they got. We need to get out of this. We're not getting anything out of it at the end of the day, right? And they look so good together. And the visual I get is he literally got a garbage truck, put Trump's name on it, put the vest on, and then had his supporters dress up and, write garbage for Trump on it. I said, where do you even begin?
Right.
Where do you begin in that moment in terms of helping the person that's calling themselves garbage for Trump understand this is not healthy, and telling Donald Trump, like, hey, could you not disrespect them? And at the end of the day, they want each other. So I said, you know what? Let's just hear them out and see what's really going on. What's keeping them so close to each other?
Yeah, there's a couple things that really bother me. Other than that, I'm willing to watch it play out. It's going to be a rough 4 years. There's going to be a lot of, did you really think he was going to fix that? Border, economics, all that. But what I'm really concerned about is going to be the Supreme Court. It could be up to 3 younger judges. And Ukraine and Palestine. Ukraine, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Netanyahu, thank you, has already reached out and congratulated. Yeah. He was the first one. Putin still hasn't, but hey, you know why? They don't want to show love for each other. So I'm willing to bet.
Wow.
I don't know. It's going to be an interesting 4 years, but if we could still work with Ukraine and what have you, figure that part out, and let the rest of it play out. Hey, it is what it is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot is up in the air, but you know what? I'm with Takesha. All right. I mean, at this point, let them just do whatever they need to do. I mean, we're getting in the way of what needs to happen. The more we push back on them and try to argue about him being dangerous, and I actually agree with the previous guest. The more we attack Trump, the stronger he gets. Right? That's to me the given. And so it's one of those things where you just gotta support these people in their toxic relationship and get the heck out of the way.
That's it. And we'll see. I mean, he has a lot he promised. He promised a lot. So he has a lot on the plate. And you know what? I am tired of going into these lives or seeing these lives and saying, hey, now apologize to me. I'm not apologizing.
Oh, no. We don't apologize.
No, he's still a horrible, horrible man.
Yeah. We don't apologize unless we're wrong, right? We're not apologizing if we're wrong. We ran, I would say, an A+ campaign. We did. We put the information at their feet. So, no, we don't owe apologies. And there was name calling on both sides, so let's not get into that. It's the part about now that the results have came in, we got to go forward, all right? And so I don't got time to get into the little name calling business right now unless necessary. It's really about helping to keep my eyes on the prize at this point and make sure at least by midterms we come back ready. All right?
I mean, we're going to have a rough 2 years.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. Midterms, we have to take both back. We have to step up. We have to get out there. We have to fight. We're going to suffer. I was talking to, I'm not sure if you're familiar with her, Mandy, last night. And
Oh,
she
I know
pointed-
who Mandy is. Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful
So she
person.
pointed out that a lot of the people voting, a lot of the Gen X, especially the white males, Gen X, don't even know how bad it was. They were too young to recognize how bad
I believe it.
Trump's time was. So they were just like, "Hey, no, this is all new to them." Well, they didn't. They don't know how bad it was.
I 100% believe that. All right. And again, it's not just that, but it's the innate biases that people have. A lot of people I know believe women shouldn't be close to power. They're a lot of people believe that. A lot of people have prejudices about people of color, and if you're not really into the minute details of how policies and things like that work, what Trump says and how we sound could honestly turn people off from being Democrats. I get that. I get it so good. That's why I'm being very disciplined this morning. All right, it's time to implement a new style in terms of how I engage the voters. All right, I get it.
I'm wondering, on January 6th, are you planning on going to the Capitol?
You know what? To be quite honest, no. I don't think it's a waste of energy to give credence to anything other than accepting the results of the election.
I agree 100%. I think when I was talking, I said Gen X, not Gen Z. Some people corrected me in the comments. I meant Gen Z.
Correct.
Anyway.
All right. Thank you for getting that straight. Yeah, I get what you meant. I knew what you meant. All right. Well, listen, Fuzzer.
Hey, thanks for having me up.
You're welcome, and you're always welcome to come up. We're gonna get to the bottom of this. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give Fuzzer a round of applause. You knew what he meant. Yeah, we know what you mean. All right. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we got to make sure we get it correct at the end of the day. All right. Let's move it along. All righty then. Who do we got next, ladies and gentlemen? All right. That was a friendly. If you're a Trump supporter, put a 1 in the chat. I think you're a Trump supporter. He put a 1 in the chat. Brian, you put a 1 in the chat. Brian Rogers. I sent you an invite, Brian. If you're a Trump supporter, please put a 1 in the chat. I'm going to do MAGA or Trump and then friendly. I think that's the best way to go. All right. And to the audience, make no mistake, just because MAGA says things that I disagree with and I don't like, it doesn't mean because I don't say anything, I agree with it. I want to make that crystal clear. All right. I understand what's going on here. And the real issue I believe that I need to work on for myself is the rebranding of the party. All right. So, Brian, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
All right. You're a Trump supporter?
I voted Trump.
Okay. All right. So, what are you looking forward to, I guess? That Trump is going to do. Yeah. What are you looking for?
So, like, I'm not like MAGA, right? But I made the choice based on some discussions with my family, neighbors, friends, what have you. And a lot of us are surely concerned about the border situation, right? We'll just be conservative and say 10 million illegal aliens just go through the border, right? So that was one concern. I'm not so sure about the inflation and the economy. Some of that stuff is totally beyond the control of the presidency, right? So
yeah. So it's really the border thing.
That was certainly one aspect for sure.
Would you be okay if, because I played the clip with Byron Donalds, he's basically like, once Trump gets in office, they're going to start cracking down on anyone in this country illegally, birthright citizenship. They need to do away with that. And that would just kind of make you feel a lot better once that starts happening, right?
I honestly hope that it does not necessarily go in that direction. I would prefer they start maybe looking for the known criminals that they do know that is in this nation at this time and focus on that aspect of it. The gangs, the known criminals.
How many criminals, how many illegal people who are in here illegally, how many of them are criminals? What's the number?
I personally do not know that number.
I heard like 15,000 unalivers, but then I think I heard somewhere around it being millions. And so do you have any, honestly, because this is why I was pushing against this, was my concern was that people who fit the description but are Americans, they might end up being sucked into this and end up getting, deported. Do you have, because there were situations about people who they thought were voting illegally because of their citizenship, and they took them off they removed them from the ballot, right? You heard about that. So
Oh, of course, yeah.
if you can do that with just people who should be able to vote, imagine the mistakes that could be made, right, when it comes to accidentally deporting somebody who's a United States citizen. Do you have any concerns about that?
Of course, yeah.
Well, at least you're honest about it, right? Because that's why.
Look,
That's
there
why
are
I was.
people that. I'm sorry.
Huh?
Go ahead.
No, go for it.
There are people that are here that absolutely don't deserve to be here.
I agree.
I mean, we know that, right? We've
Yeah.
seen them cross the border in droves, right?
Mm.
I mean, in droves. We've seen the caravans, right?
Yeah.
But people are coming. And so another thing, like I would like to talk about this as well. So really, other communities should be concerned about this as well, because now you see Latinos that get legalized in this country. Now they're turning to the Republicans.
And that was, to me, the most bizarre thing. I to be quite honest, and the reason it is because for a moment the narrative was Democrats are letting people in this country illegally so they can vote.
So African Americans and Latinos used to be a voting bloc, right? That's going to break apart. And the fact is, the Latinos population is higher than the black population. It's growing. It's growing big time. And they're turning to the Republican Party.
Why do you think that is?
Well, obviously, I think I'll tell you why.
What is attracting?
So I live in a state that there are a lot of Mexican Americans. Some of them are just here on work visas that come here for the summer and the fall, and they pick fruit and they do other jobs, right? And those people that I've become friends with, that I've gotten to know in the community, they have real conservative values. They go to church on Sunday. They don't believe in abortion. They believe in family, right? They stick together.
But they could be criminals.
That's right. Just like anybody else, right? And if they are, they need to be deported if they're here illegally. Even if they're here legally on a work visa and they commit a crime, they should be sent back and not allowed back in this country.
And that's and that's, to me, is like the interesting thing. And you're saying those people that know that, they are voting Republican. Right? That's what's going on, right? They're not voting Democrat. They know what you think and what you believe, and they still say, "Yeah, I agree with that. I'm voting for your team." That's what's going on here, and that's why I was.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. They're not monolithic, right? But
yeah.
But honestly, I have sat in church with these people. Literally, I swear, I have sat in church, didn't understand a word that was said while I was there, but I was invited there.
Yeah.
These people have some hardcore conservative principles, believing in family, believing in staying together, believing in working hard.
I have those same principles, though.
I understand that.
So that's the issue, right? I mean, I don't get it, but if your narrative was Democrats are opening the border so they can get the votes, what I'm hearing from you is we're really not getting the votes at the end of the day. You're getting those votes.
That's right. So maybe they should think about that and stop shooting themselves in the foot, right?
I'm glad.
I'm with you, brother.
I don't got an answer for it, but I just think the Democrats are getting blamed for a lot of stuff that really isn't true. But Donald Trump. I don't want to mention his
borders. You don't think after 3.5 years before anybody said anything in that administration, when they started getting nervous about the polling and about the election, you don't think anything could have been done by this administration about that?
I know things could have been.
Tens of thousands every day coming across.
If I got to be honest with you, I know things could have been done at the executive order level, but
they didn't do it. And Kamala Harris had an opportunity to take a team to go down there, to visit down there once a month. She could have pushed for something, but she didn't. And
what do you say to these older people? Because I spoke to some people and they said, as far as they've been alive in this country, immigration has always been an issue. What do you say to those people?
It absolutely has. I mean, I'm not young. I remember Ronald Reagan, right?
Okay.
Dealing with this.
So I don't think it's, to me, fair to put it all on Kamala, a woman, right? So
Absolutely.
that's my position, and that's why during the campaign we pushed back we pushed back as hard as we could, because from the way that I at least know, I was looking at it, I'm like, I'm not going to sit back and let you put all of that on a black woman.
Okay.
That's not fair when it's been an issue for a long time. It's just not fair to her.
But you have to admit, she missed an opportunity. She had plenty of opportunities to go public, to take a team, to build a team, to go down there, to visit the border once a month, to make proposals, to meet with the president, to go public, to go on Fox News, to go on CNN, talk about this crisis that the American people are well aware of. That really.
Okay. If I'll say this. You know what? She could have done better. I'll say that. Everyone, hindsight is 2020. But I also want to say this. Don't you think?
In respect to you, I'll say no. It's not all her fault. But let's agree, she could have done something.
Okay, fine. And can we also give her some credit, her and President Biden, at least, for whether we like it or not? I mean, whether you like it or not. I mean, when they got in, they didn't get the handoff that most presidents get, right? And they had a lot of pressing issues. Mainly, one of them was the pandemic, and I think we got to give them credit for it was a soft landing in terms of the economy. We didn't have a recession, right?
Yep.
I mean, you might not like Bidenomics, but it did help out a lot of people, and they got a lot of legislation passed in a record amount of time. Maybe, like you said, could they have done more to probably address the immigration issue? I think they could have. Hindsight is 2020, though. But overall, I'd say no impeachments. We didn't put President Trump in off. We didn't get him convicted of anything, right? But his son got convicted, so. There's issues around that. Huh?
Yep.
Hunter got convicted. So I'd say Biden showed me he definitely kept his hands off. So it is what it is. But listen, Brian, I got to move it on. All right.
Hey, can I bring up one more thing respectfully?
Sure.
Because I think a lot of times I had a tendency to peruse through a lot of the lives, and I stumbled across yours. And at times, I say this respectfully because I don't feel this today. But I thought you were really demeaning and unfair to certain people that were coming up and trying to express their opinions. Mm-hmm. And for someone like me that was kind of deciding who was going to be the best choice, when I hear stuff like this, you're pushing me away. And I'm not the only one. And this isn't the only lie.
I've heard that.
And you guys did a really good job of pushing people away.
Could you unpack that? Could you unpack that a little bit? I've heard that argument. I've heard that argument quite well, and I got a couple of responses for it. But
I'd rather be your friend than your enemy. I don't care who you voted for, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when I come on live and I hear somebody trying to come up and speak, and
you're saying we should have been more personable.
And you know what, man? I've been on right-wing lives where I was disgusted, where I've seen the N-word come up and be like, man, I'm out, right?
Yeah.
But I've also been on the other side where I've been, looked like I was the only person of my color on the live, and I was told I smell like a wet dog, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. So I've seen it on both sides.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if we could get more lives like this one is today, respect each other, listen, love each other, come together as a country, try to understand we don't all come from the same perspective. I'm not black. I have no clue. Because of that reason, I'm willing to listen to you if you're willing to listen to me and respect me and others that may feel like me. I understand, man. You got some real assholes that come up sometimes. Get them off. There's no place for that, right? There's no place for it.
Well, all right. I'm going to take the feedback that I've been getting for the past couple of days, all right, whether it's online or offline. And I really do think that's why, for me personally, it's about rebranding or repositioning, however you want to phrase it. But I do believe if I listen for the kernel of truth in what you're saying, I'll find out what you mean by the statement. But I'll say this.
If you keep it like this and I'm a subscriber, I'll be on here often.
All right. Well, listen, but let me push back. Thank you, Karma, for the subscription, because I'm going to keep doing my show. I was already doing this time slot prior to getting more into the political side, but I was doing other things. Some say I was the love guru, so I can help some of you out there if you need help with the love. Don't worry, I'll do that. I'll lower your taxes. But I'll say this. I want to say that there is some truth to you, but I wouldn't. If you want to, there's 100% in terms of how content creators influence the results of the election. I would say maybe a 1% at most, because I still believe the underlying issue was always about race and misogyny. Right now, you don't got to agree with it, and my only reason for doing that is because he beat Hillary in 2016. So there's something about that. But then also, I'll say this. It was hard to not be like what you just said when you had a candidate like, President-elect Trump doing those things as well. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
He was doing those things, and,
I despise that. I despise that side of him, by the way. I just want you to know.
Well, a lot of people despise it. And, I think in 2016, this is just my opinion, I said maybe he won't do that once he becomes president. But then he continued to do it. And I think that's where you got people, especially like me on the left, you get people up here and you're talking to them, and everyone's coming in passionate, and it's just like,
I know
we got to cut it off, because I'm not going to break the community guidelines, but I'm going to push the line and let people know you're not going to come up here and disrespect Zeus. I'm Big Zeus. So I understand what you're saying, but I don't think it's 100% on the Democrats. I think Donald Trump came down that golden escalator, and
at the end of the day, do yourself a favor, man. I'm with you. Don't let people come on here and disrespect you. This is your live. You control this live.
Well, now you're talking.
But at the end of the day, if you take that same perspective and say, okay, sometimes some of the people on here cross the line. Maybe you can admit yourself cross the line with some of the phrases that are used or the throwbacks that some of the MAGA people that get on here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just look in the mirror just a little bit, right, and say,
well, I think that's a lesson for everyone. That's a lesson for everyone. All right, let's be honest. It's a lesson for everyone. There you go,
dude. I'm far from perfect.
Yeah,
I'm trying to come at all of this from, trying to open my mind and being a good person inside.
Yeah.
Well, I need to listen.
Yeah. Now I'm going to move on, but in the spirit of you needing to listen, do you think on the other side you all should start listening to some of the real concerns the Democrats have? Because that's the other side
Absolutely.
of this, right? Like, you should be able to give me feedback, and I should be able to give you feedback, because if it doesn't go that way, then we get what we get. All right?
Dude, if we do that respectively, we're all going to be in a better place, and we're all going to love each other, right? Much better than what we do.
And when you hear people expressing things, because I'm going to be honest, if a woman comes up and really expresses how they feel, a person of color expresses how they feel, you have to be mindful. It might not come out the way you would like it to come out, but most of the time it's coming from a good place, and you really should give them the benefit of the doubt before, criticizing them, trying to demonize them for saying what they honestly feel. I think that's, to me, what's missing on the right, especially. There are issues around race. There are issues around misogyny. And you can't gaslight people into believing they're not. And you can't hide behind religion. It's not going to allow what you're trying to say happen, right? So I'm willing to take your feedback, but I hope people on the right do as well.
I hope so. I really do.
And honestly, the other thing is, like you said, there's Donald Trump's behavior. I mean,
often despicable and unexcusable.
Don't gaslight us when he does stuff. We're not going to let you gaslight us and say, "Oh, okay, that's not
me."
Okay, I mean, but you understand what I'm saying.
Oh man, I do. I've heard it. I've seen it, and I push back. I do.
I look forward to his supporters holding him accountable the way that you're trying to say we need to be held accountable. All right, Brian?
Absolutely.
All right, I'm going to move on, and I do hope you continue to at least listen to other opinions besides yours or mine, and maybe find some middle ground in what's going on here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give Brian a round of applause. Very respectful conversation. All right, all right, all right. Very respectful conversation. Oh my goodness. Listen, I know my mom would be very proud of how I'm doing this. Creative Ink Studios, ladies and gentlemen, show him some love. W in the chat. All right. So that's a Trump supporter. All right, we're gonna go back and we're gonna try to get somebody who's certified. I know on a Democrat and has very strong beliefs as well. Good morning, my good friend Stray Facts. You know, just another day post-election, trying to, navigate a path forward. All right, a path forward to victory, though. Yeah, that's what I'm concerned about, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give it up to Straight Facts.
Hey, how y'all doing this morning?
I'm all right.
Zeus, listen, I hear what that gentleman was saying just now. But the problem is that we have this, and I know you guys can't read it that well, but I'll break it down for you. Because he's trying to say, listen, it was your message. It was the way you guys came across that turned us off. But I'm challenging that.
Okay.
And the reason how I'm going to challenge it is by straight numbers. Because we all know that numbers don't lie. People do. And those last two gentlemen, that gentleman, Brian, and the Cajun guy, they just sat up here and told a bold-faced lie. Because he said out of his own mouth, he knows Donald Trump is a no-good character. He's not a good person.
Mm-hmm.
He chose to vote for him anyway. And then at the same time, they want us to believe that it's not racism. Well, let me tell you what these numbers say. The top number here is white T-men. They voted for Donald Trump at about a 68% clip. This is white T women right here.
Hold on, I'm trying to get it so I can see what you got going on up there. Don't worry. We'll be right back. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on, Straight Facts. I am so sorry.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. Oh my goodness. I'm not good at this. I'm not good at how this TikTok
That's all right. Go to the multi-user.
Okay.
And that little settings wheel.
Yeah, I'm in
the and then pick the first one.
Got it. Oh, God, there you go.
There you go. But now just change me over there.
Okay. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna get there. Why does it?
Can you? I don't know if you can change me there. I think you can.
I'm trying to.
My name, and it should be a little bracket thing.
Yeah,
so
when I
make my box big.
Yeah, I'm looking for it, but you know what it did? Okay, there you go. I think this is it.
There we go. That's a little bit better.
No, but because you're right underneath me. Hold on.
It looks like I'm on the side of you, and I'm in a bigger.
Oh,
box.
It does?
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me.
Let me see. No, it looks like you're under me.
Do you guys see me under him?
No, yeah. So hold on. We're gonna. I think I know what to do. Let's see. Grid. Let's go back here. Hold on. Forget it. We'll stay there.
Well, just because I can explain it to you. This is the exit polls. Okay. This is white T-men. They voted for Trump at a 68% clip. This is white T women. They voted for Trump in a 62% clip. This is black people. Black men voted for Kamala at a 78% clip. Black women, 92%. We did our job. This is Latino men. They went from 40-some-odd% to up into the 60 percentile. So when you sit up, and this is other people. This is Latino women, and this is other races. We did our job, y'all. They chose who they wanted to choose because of racism. Simple as that. So no, you can sit up and you can make all kinds of lies. You can try to distance yourself from racism if you want to, but the numbers don't lie. We know who you chose and we know why you chose it. So now that there's no ifs, ands, buts about it, we don't have to discuss, is America a racist country or not? We know that it is. Now we just need to move accordingly. And furthermore, if you know Donald Trump, and both these gentlemen sat up there and said that Donald Trump wasn't a good person. You know Donald Trump isn't a good person, so we're going to sit back and we're going to laugh at the things that we have tried to tell you. We told you so. But is my job going to change because Donald Trump is the president of the United States? No. But are you going to suffer so far as your wives, your children, and everyone else because Donald Trump is the president of the United States? Absolutely. And we are not going to march for you. We're not going to get out and protest for you. You said we need to rebrand the Democrat Party. I don't think so.
No, I said I need to rebrand myself because I don't.
Yourself. Okay, not the Democrat Party. Okay, because I was going to say, Zeus, I think that Kamala did a wonderful job.
Yeah,
it was pretty much flawless, which is what we needed to see. Because without that, we would still be humming and hawing. Does racism really exist? No, we saw a beautiful black woman with every qualification to be. She was overqualified, worked in all three branches of the government, has no criminal history, has only 3 suitors in her life, doesn't have baby daddies up the yin yang, is a prolific liar. We saw all this about this black woman, and look at Obama. No problems with his administration. But yet, this guy who lies to you consistently, you want to blame the Democrat Party as to why you chose your whiteness? Just be honest. You chose your whiteness. You came over here from Scotland, Ireland, wherever European country that you came from, and the moment that you got off the boat or off the doggone plane, you decided that you were a white tea person. So you chose up. So since you chose up, we gonna choose up. We're no longer going to feel sorry for you. We're no longer going to champion your cause, the things that you're looking for. We're going to look out for our community, and we're not going to feel bad about it moving forward. So if you don't like the way we talked to you before, it had nothing to do with who you chose as president. So stop trying to put that on us. Y'all always trying to blame black folks for y'all racism, and it's not us. You started it, and we going to finish it. Because now, when you want some of our seasoning, you're going to pay for it.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, that's straight facts.
And that's what I mean. So if you want to be a part of this Black Liberation Movement, come on with it, because that's what we're going to be doing. We're not going to be playing no games no more. Yes, we're going to love our allies because they were here for us when we needed them. So that's not what I'm saying at all. I don't want you guys to misconstrue my words. We love our sisters and brothers that had our back, that are not melanated people. But at the same time, America showed us exactly who we are, who they are, and we're going to go ahead and believe them. So y'all have a wonderful day.
Oh, okay, all right. I was just going to say, so what are your thoughts about this argument that it's all about policy? You're saying maybe it's more about race than it is policy?
Wasn't about policy at all. It was about a group of people doing what they have done for centuries. They have decided that cruelty is the purpose, and that they are going to stick together no matter what. They're gonna vote for the person that they want to vote for, regardless of how much harm that they are gonna do to our country. Y'all all know that Donald Trump is gonna do harm to our country. We were here when he did it the first time. So I'm not gonna sit here and pretend to myself like that's not what's gonna happen. But what I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna sink myself and tie myself so much to the American country anymore. I'm going to follow what I need to follow, and that's to make sure I preserve and protect my black folks. And
Amen.
That's what my job is now.
Amen.
Because y'all showed me. You didn't, some of y'all didn't go over here and pick Kamala because she's a good person. You guys picked Donald Trump because he's a white man. Be honest. That we've been asking y'all to be honest all this time. Y'all came in our lives and lied about it. It's policy. It's this. No, it was not that. Numbers don't lie. People do. It was the simple fact that he was a white tea man, and you did not want anything other than a white tea man to run this country. Because look, when we ran Biden up against him, Biden won. So y'all told us exactly what it is. So don't shim-shay. Don't try to come on over to the barbecue and think it's cool. Don't talk about wanting to sit at the counter and have a drink. We don't want to. We're done. It's over with.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
over with. So you shouldn't be coming in our lives and doing all this. Y'all should be celebrating now. You got what you wanted, but I tell you what, be careful what you wish for.
That's the message. That's the message. All right. Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up to the beautiful Straight Facts. All right. All right. You've heard. Listen, you know where I stand. I am a Democrat. You know that. But we're getting perspectives on both sides of the aisle. All right. And, there's valid truth and there's a lot of truth in what you said, Straight Fact. That's why I said, I don't know if I want to go down that path and say it was about unemployment and money in your pockets yet, because like you showed the graph, I see something else. I see something else out there. All right. And if that's what it really is, then on both sides, we just need to be honest about it. All right. All right. It's clear America has a lot of work to do out here. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Listen, who do we got next? Who do we have next, ladies and gentlemen? Oh my goodness! Listen, and by the way, if I love every single one of you who are willing to get up in the box and be honest with Big Zeus. All right, that's what this is really all about, ladies and gentlemen. That's what this is really all about. All right. Put a 1 in the chat if you're a Trump supporter. We just did I need a Trump supporter next. Yes. Put a 1 in the chat if you're a Trump supporter and you want to come up. You've heard what all the guests have said before. All right. And what we'll do is we'll help you figure it out, whether what you're saying needs to be processed. Okay. All right. Come on up here.
Hello.
Yeah, you're begging me.
I just listened to OG. I just listened to OG, and I totally understand where she's at.
Where is she at?
I do have a question about it too, because we can also think on the other side of the graph that on the other side that none of the black voted for the white guy. Do we call them racist? No. So that's kind of hurtful to be able to say that about. That's why the division will stay, is because when you hang on to racism, then everything you say will create hate and division. That was wrong. We voted on job performance. No, it's very wrong to come up here and say
Snuggles.
that the white majority voted for the white person and not the black person. We voted on job performance.
Okay, all right.
I'm just saying it's wrong.
Where is the unity on the right?
There is no unity when it comes to somebody saying that we're racist. No, we voted on job performance.
Okay. So did you hear?
So should we say that the black are racist? We're not voting for Trump.
Sir, we just played videos where there was a gentleman talking about preserving whiteness in this country. That's how we got to this place. Okay, and that's why this person, white guy, voted for Donald Trump. So what I can't wait. So what I can't allow you to, I guess, say without pushing back on it is. You can't say it's not an issue. It's always an issue, whether it's on what you're saying or whether it's on what Straight Facts is saying.
Yeah,
let's not pretend like let's not pretend like it's not an issue. And what I gathered from what Straight Facts said, which is why I say it's true. Don't gaslight me into thinking this is about the economy. Don't gaslight me into thinking this is about, she didn't do anything for 3 years. It's been this way in this country for ages. And to try to put Kamala Harris on the spotlight and say she's the one, it's ridiculous and it's not true.
She performed horribly. That's what people voted on. Not her color. She was a horrible performer for this country.
What did Mike?
Period.
Okay, so I don't agree with that. But what were you looking at in terms of her performance? Because I would then say we have to say every vice president before her, we should be able to apply the same test to them to gauge their performance, right?
Absolutely.
Did Mike Pence perform horribly?
I'm going to use the same excuse you did. The vice president didn't do anything. They don't do their job. That's what you guys said, right?
Okay, so if you're going to give Mike Pence that permission, then you have to give that same excuse to Kamala Harris.
Well, she was assigned to the border.
No. So
she was assigned to the border. Biden was on there. You saw it.
But did
he
you
was sitting at the table and assigned her?
Do you see your bias? Do you see how your bias makes it hard for you to be consistent?
If Trump assigned Pence the border, I would blame him on that. But Pence did, or Trump didn't assign Pence the border. We saw on TV that everybody saw you and my eyes saw that. You're acting like, and when you don't act, when
Mike
you act
Pence
like it didn't
refused.
happen,
Mike Pence
that's why
didn't
people-
Mike Pence didn't let Trump pressure him on January 6th, right? So some on your side say Mike Pence failed. But you can't just jump to that same point because we don't for some strange reason you can't be critical of Mike Pence. I have to think to myself, is it because he's a
I am
white
critical
guy?
of Mike Pence.
Is it because he's a white guy? Is
He
that
put
what
the
it
votes
is?
through. Mike Pence put the votes through. He shouldn't have. 100 people of Congress, 100
So
members
he's a
of Congress
terrible.
said,
So he's a
Mike
terrible
Pence,
vice
you should
president.
put-
So
absolutely.
okay. So let's go. Let's unpack that. Donald Trump selected a terrible vice president.
Absolutely.
Doesn't that say something about Trump as a leader?
No, because we had
Okay.
a lot out of Trump that he did as a president.
I mean, and so again, I don't
You
want to
look
get
at
into.
Pixar.
I don't want to get into saying
That's why you lost.
I don't want to get
Because
into
people
saying
saw-
his. I don't want to get into saying his name because I think it only empowers him. Okay,
Right,
so
but that's why you lost because you didn't get the stuff done.
no,
You get it
no,
done.
no. I don't know if you've been
So you
listening.
acknowledge that.
We
Snuggles
lost.
win.
The Democrats, we did not get the outcome we wanted, right?
Correct.
I've
Why?
acknowledged that.
Why?
Huh? Because
Why didn't you win?
you want my honest answer?
Yeah. Why didn't you win?
Because of race relations and misogyny.
Oh, give me a
and-
break. It's because of the economy and because of the border.
Well, that's not what we're hearing, though.
You guys will never win if you hang on race. You will never win when you race bait. You will never win as a Democratic Party. America sees through that bullshit.
Listen. I'm not race baiting, right? But I'm not. What I'm not going to do
I'm
is
just
pretend
saying
like
you
it's
will
not an
never
issue.
win a politician. You will never win if you hang on race baiting because America's had it with that as well. Because
Okay.
if you're saying that the blacks didn't vote for the white guy, then you're just as racist as we are, and there will be no coming together at all
right.
on both sides.
I don't think anyone is running solely on that, but I get what you're saying. I don't want to make it. I don't want to make it the primary topic.
I'm just saying
don't.
you will never,
to be quite
you will
honest,
never win if you race bait.
Listen. I don't want to make it the primary discussion. I really
Correct.
would rather make it about the economy. I really
Correct.
would
It
rather
is.
make it about maybe foreign policy. So I get what you're saying, but for some strange reason, there's this video out here and race came up. So
It's
that's
just
why
the
I'm
one
talking
video.
about
You're
it.
gonna have you're going to have bad people. Yes.
Well,
But you
there was
can't
a
base
wait a
it on
second.
one video.
There was a video about, I played Nick Fuentes and he was talking about women and their body and he said it's your body, our choice. So there's that issue too. And again, that to me is kind of the bigger context more so than all of the other things about policy. That's all I was saying. So other than that,
How are we going to come together, though? How are not you and me? How are people going to come together if we continue to hang on this race issue?
well,
It's
let's
never
not.
gonna
Well,
come
you
together.
and I have already discussed race, and we
Right.
have different opinions about it, so we don't need to dwell on that topic. What else?
Right, exactly. No,
what
that's
else?
about it. That's about
okay.
it.
Okay. Well, I'm going to move on, sir. All right, because there's a lot.
Absolutely.
There's other people who want to come up. Other people might have different opinions. I do hope you listen to
And
them.
I respect OG. I respect everybody. I want to let you know that. But there are two sides to a story,
Okay.
and I don't want to hang on the race thing.
Okay. I mean, and it's your business, right? I think on a personal level, you got to
Right.
deal with it on your own, and however you process it is however you process it. What I'm doing right now is a bit what I'm calling reconnaissance work, and I'm just really trying to have. I want authentic conversations. If people
Right.
are up here just playing around, I don't want to really talk. But if we're having an authentic conversation, I want to have that. All right, because
Absolutely.
we got 4 years coming down our way, and there's going to be a lot going on, and I want
Right.
people to understand it. All right.
It will be excellent. You will have more money in your pockets.
Okay. Well, that's your opinion. All right.
You will.
Have a
12
good
within
one.
12 months. You will.
Okay. All right. I'll hold you
You'll
to
get your
it.
utility bills. They'll be coming down soon.
Okay, I'll hold you to it. All right.
All right, thank you.
I'm moving on now. Snuggles.
Snuggles is winning.
Okay.
And get your knee pads ready.
Fair enough.
There'll be another good 4 years ahead.
Okay, fair enough. Oh my
Anything
gosh.
else? Will you
Nope.
apologize to me, comment section? I haven't got your apologies yet.
Okay. He's Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Let's just do it for old time's sake, ladies and gentlemen. Let's warm up the Lake of Fire. He just deserves it. I didn't want to do this. I apologize, but I just got an urge to do it. Snuggles Lake of Fire, ladies and gentlemen, Creative Inc. Studios. Snuggles Lake of Fire. Yes, it's warming up. Say yes or no, please. I'll cut it off if I don't. Which one? Which one do I need it? That's warmed up. Yes, no. Okay, there's a lot of yeses. I apologize.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
Can't win them all. We're trying to be civil up here, and you see what I'm talking about. Lord have mercy. Yeah, I don't want to make it all about one particular issue. I really just want to have these authentic conversations. All right. Let me bring up the next panelist. All right. Who do we got next? All right. Who do I have next? All right. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. I'm trying to look for who do I have? Ooh. All right. We'll go here. Let's see. La Lucy, Christina, thank you so much for the Galaxy W. Christina in the chat. La Lucy, are you a Trump supporter?
I am not.
Okay, great. All right. I want somebody that's not MAGA. You've been listening, I suppose, to what's been said today.
Yes, I have. Thank
Please
you so
give
much
us-
for bringing me up. I actually made a comment yesterday that if we were gonna end for today, and I apologize that it wasn't like in general, it was like just for yesterday. Because you did comment about it. I'm like, oh my God, no, that's not what I meant.
Oh, I probably didn't see it, to be quite honest.
Okay.
So you're all good. I don't get to talk to a lot of new people, and so whatever
Yeah.
people say in the comments, that's their thing. I get it.
Yeah, I just want to start off with like, I love your lives. In the beginning, I thought it was like cringe, but it was like, it got so exciting, especially like sending them to like, just to the lava. Is just want to say that I'm nervous.
Yes.
I just wanted to compliment.
Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. We were in campaign mode and we were taking
Uh-huh.
no prisoners. So we got to do what we got to do, right? They were fighting.
I love
They were
it.
fighting just as hard. So that's why they say, should you apologize? No.
Yeah, no, most definitely. No one should be apologizing for that kind of rhetoric. Specifically, the previous guest, he was like, oh no, it's not about race and things like that. And he ended on such a sour note. So such a hypocrite, for starters.
Thank you.
So it's just like, it was such a bummer that Kamala had lost. I stayed up night, just hearing all kinds of debaters, just keeping me updated and stuff like that. The debaters that I listen to the most is Dean and Parker. And they fought a good fight. You did too. I listened to you in the mornings. I listened to them in the afternoon, then evenings.
Yeah.
It's like I made sure to just like get all the information, especially like the way that Trump supporters just spoke. They relied on like their argument was the border, abortion, and the economy.
Yeah.
They were so like they were just so ignorant and uneducated. It was just ridiculous. Like, I just barely got into politics just a couple of like months ago. I never got involved even when like Trump first became president.
Right.
I just heard he became president the first time. I'm like, are you kidding me? That's like laughable. So I didn't pay attention to what happened. I was within the age of like, it would affect me, but I'm like, didn't pay attention.
Yeah.
And now it's like Zeus, are you kidding me? Trump's for the second term. Like,
I mean, but the people honestly have spoken, and you have to say he ran a good campaign.
Yeah, I saw some of his like live or his rallies, and he just kept going about some nonsense, as everybody knows. Everybody loved it when it comes to Trump supporters. Like, well, he didn't mean to say that. They had to be like the Trump what's it called? Translators.
No,
It's like he's gonna become president, or he's campaigning on being president, and you shouldn't be a Trump translator to us, to everybody else who doesn't support him. And if because you're doing that, imagine like you have to be a Trump translator when he's like trying to work with other world leaders. And nobody likes him besides, the two people, I can never pronounce his name, the Israel leader and Putin.
Netanyahu.
Oh gosh, it's not even worth trying to always say his name.
Yeah.
And I forget who was the first person to congratulate him when he became president. So it was like, that just speaks on so many levels of what we're going to see. I'm extremely worried about Ukraine, about Palestinians.
I am with you, Lucy. I am. But I like I said, I've gotten to the point where I realize, maybe I've been in the way of this toxic relationship between him and his supporters, and it's time for me to just kind of step back and let them, have their privacy, their moment. I don't need the government to tell me the difference between right and wrong. So, I don't think my values are changing at all. Personally, I think that I personally want to get to the bottom of having more authentic conversations about what the real issues are, which unfortunately seem to be tied to our history, more so than the quote policies that we've been debating on for the past couple of months.
Yeah, most definitely. And I just hope that now, Trump supporters get over there like, oh, haha, you guys lost, we won. It's like, okay, let's move forward.
Yeah.
Let's see what your candidate's going to offer. I'm hoping since you vote for him, he's going to give all the promises that he's given,
Like
Hopefully
50% off of your utility bill, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm hoping like he's not a dictator on day one. All they were saying, like, he doesn't mean that, a dictator can't get done anything in one day. So hopefully he doesn't extend this. Oh, just 2 days. Oh, just give me 3 days, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like, hopefully that doesn't happen. And they're right. Like, oh, he just doesn't mean it kind of situation. So it's like,
but I kind of have a different opinion about that. I think let him go. I don't think they should try to, move forward with these convictions. All right. I think we're at a point now where we just need to let him do what he needs to do, because the more we delay the inevitable, the more stressful it is. That's my opinion. Because we tried. I think folks like you, folks like me, we really put it out there. We tried to warn the world of the dangers that come with him, right? I mean, and you can't ignore what happened during the pandemic, right?
oh gosh.
And you're
He
like,
gave all the, what is it called? All the mask, the gloves, all of that to Putin. I'm not as educated when it comes to that, but I was trying to look into it. It's like he wanted them to have that. And it's like, okay, I got to dig deeper in, specific what he's going to bring, I guess. And it's like that just opened my eyes, just being immersed in politics and listening to everybody of what they're trying to debate and what the other side is trying to get come across as to why they voted for Trump. So I really appreciate like you opening this platform to be like, okay, Trump supporters, you won, I get it, gloat, but tell me more information as to why you voted. Let's see what we can change. Because I do agree a little bit of what that other guest was saying, where it's like some of the leftists were just like, oh, I don't want to listen to Trump supporters. You guys are stupid. You guys are da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, okay, what's it called? The undecided people could have like leaned towards Republican because of that kind of situation.
when they don't know the context behind all of the behind the scenes things that lead to that, I can understand it kind of comes across as toxic. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it, but that's why I also push back and I say, well, it wasn't always like this. Because before we were on TikTok, right, he ran and in 2016 and he won. So, I don't really want to put all of the blame on content creators either, right?
Yeah, most definitely.
He won in 2016 without us. So I think there's something going on out there that really helped reassure him. And so that's something, I don't want to bring it up again, but it's tied to America's history.
Oh, no, most definitely. That's what I was looking at, because it's like a lot of people say like Kamala was like, oh yeah, word salad here. This is how the way she portrayed. Oh, she's unqualified. She's uneducated. And people don't know her history of her career.
Yeah.
He like served. I can't really say specifically like the different like careers that she has had, because I keep forgetting exactly. Like she served all across the boards, from like
Yeah.
district attorney, from a senator, and then VP. Like that screams overqualified. And they just say Trump, well, he's, not the typical politician. It's like, you realize he is a politician now. He's immersed in it for the past,
Yeah,
his first.
he's the party. He
Yeah.
he is the GOP. So yeah, well, I
Yeah,
don't know,
and
but
then it's like the Trump supporters were like, oh well, she didn't do anything. She's the border czar. It's like, where did they get that specific title? That had nothing to do with it. Like if you ask them, please explain to me, what is the job description of a vice president? They won't know what to say. It had nothing to do with, monitoring the border and things like that.
yeah,
So it's like, and they just like, because of the rhetoric kept being repeated constantly, they just like stuck to that and just repeated it over and over and over again.
yeah,
And just changing the different topic of when it comes to abortion, it's like people are like, oh, well, give it back to the states. It's empowering to the people. They get to decide. They get to do everything. It's like, why not just take it a step further and give it to the people themselves to monitor it? And I forget what that guy's name. He was saying something about, well, certain women didn't have a say on abortion rights.
Oh, Cajun.
Yeah, he was saying some ridiculous thing when it comes to that. It's like, those individuals, women that don't have a say, they have a say on their own bodies. So worry about your own. Like, if you get pregnant and you don't want an abortion, that's on you.
Yep.
You continue through the process. Like, maybe you don't want to have the baby. Well, look into couples who want that baby. You have that say.
Thank you.
But don't like pressure us other women to have babies that we do not want. And I get it. There's always like a lot of Democrats that say, well, what if like it happens if they're raped, if it's
Yeah.
incest and all of that stuff. Sure, it's like a low chance. I don't know what the percentage is, but at the same time, don't ignore those individuals that it does happen. Even
Yeah.
if it's a small percentage of whatever they say, that's still a significant amount of women that are faced to deal with that.
Yeah.
And as you know, people, become pregnant and they don't even want to abort the baby. It just, there's some complications. The baby already died inside their belly and they
Well,
have to
they-
go through with that pregnancy.
They're gonna figure it out on their own, and that's what this is about. All right, Lucy. Now I gotta
Mhm.
move it on. All right,
No,
but
of course not.
it
Or,
was
yeah,
it was
thank
a
you so
pleasure.
much for letting me up. This is
Yeah.
like the first time ever I've been on a live and I saw you're going on live 3, 2, 1. I'm like,
Let's go.
This is so exciting.
You're welcome. Well, listen, I'm glad you had the patience to wait. All right, I'm trying to hear from the regular people like yourself, and so I appreciate it, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you give Lucy some love, show her some love, and W's in the chat for Lucy. All right, first time live with Zeus. Let's go. All right, Lucy. I'll bring it. You too, and keep up the good work out there. All right, all right.
Of course.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. You see, I mean, you hear both sides, and if I can do it, MAGA, you can do it. All right, because you want to say. There needs to be more respect and things like that. And it's like, yeah, it goes both ways. All right. If you're a Trump supporter, please come up in the box. Let's have that conversation. I'll talk to you. All right. Don't worry. Don't worry. My values, they have not changed. I'm going to stand on that. All right. My values have not changed, but I'm willing. I am willing to hear people with different opinions at this point. All right. Because I will get better in the off season. All right. Put a 1 in the chat if you are a Trump supporter. I can't bring you up, Laundred. I can't bring you up. All right. I love you too, Tinkerbell. All right. I tried to bring you up when Trump said too big to rig. All right. Michael Rubenstein. All right. Come on up here, Michael. Get on board.
Hey, Zeus. Good morning. Good morning.
All right. You're a Trump supporter?
Well, I voted for him, of course.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
You said to push 1, and I guess you brought me up.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right. You're the winners.
I guess it was a resounding pushback on the effeminization, and I think you fall into that category too of men. And I think even the black males, they looked at men like you and said, we don't want that. We do not want that. We do not want to be effeminized. And so there was a clear distinction between a real man and an effeminized man that made the difference in this election. Now, pivoting to the AB.
Wait, can I go back and about the feminized male? Could you unpack that for me? I'm just concerned. Yeah, please help Zeus understand.
Of course, and it's really easy. Do you think do you think that a black man or a real man, I guess it doesn't matter, white or black, what's he going to think of a guy that comes sashaying down off of an aircraft, waving his hand and skipping like a little girl? What do you think he thinks in his mind? Is that the guy that's a heartbeat away from the president's office that you want representing you in today's world? That's very effeminate. And a man who wants to put tampons in girls' bathrooms. We've been over this.
Oh, you're talking about Governor Walz.
Yes. That was a
That was something y'all brought up. Y'all brought that up quite a bit. I remember all of this stuff. Yeah, but Michael.
Right. So if she would have taken Shapiro, if she would have taken that young man out of Pennsylvania, the governor, he was prior attorney general. I think that would have been. It would have been a lot closer. Let's just put it that way. Now, getting back to the AB.
Wait a second. We're moving real fast. So I just want to make sure I get it understood. But we're okay. Don't worry. I'll let you get both of those issues out. But you know, shouldn't men be sure of who they are, or not just men but adults? Shouldn't you just be able to be sure of who you are regardless of, you know?
I think real men are, but when it comes to leadership, I think you make decisions too in life based upon what you see and what you hear. So what you see and what you hear was not what we wanted to see or hear. So I think it's not about their abilities, so to speak. It's about how they present themselves. Well, you can have the abilities, okay?
Yeah.
You can figure out, what the square root of 144 is, but what's your ability to pass that? What's your ability to pass that on to others and keep the attention span to others? I can go real deep here on you, but I don't want to. But
let me ask a simple. Let me ask it.
Make this real complicated. It was a terrible.
You're the first person I've heard say this, by the way, today. So I think that's interesting. But let me just get your understanding. Who do you want? A person that on the surface looks very strong, but might not be mentally present, so to speak, or somebody that might look weak, but is mentally strong? If there was a serious decision that need to be made, which would you say would make the most sense?
Well, I don't think it's a choice between neither for me. You got to have both. And I think that's what people saw, and that's what people continue to see in Donald Trump. So that's an easy question.
Donald Trump represents strength, right? He's like a man's man.
Well, we saw it. We've seen it. I mean, it's not even a thought. We've seen it. We've seen what he's been through and where he's at today. So, I mean, you call that toxic masculinity.
That's what some say that. Some say that.
Okay. Who would you rather want to protect your family, Donald Trump or Tim Walz or Kamala? It was a clear distinction. And do I think she was a horrible person? Absolutely not. And I think that's where everybody needs to take a chill pill and get the vitriol and hatred out of them and let's go on from here. Because this is only going to last for 4 years. And then it's the opportunity to change, and that's what's so great about our country. And let me pivot real quick. I wanted you.
You're gonna go to AB, or you're moving somewhere else?
Just the AB question, then I'll let somebody else come up. And I appreciate you letting me.
No problem.
Why? Here's what I don't understand. The AB seemed to be the biggest. I would say it'd have to go to the top of the scale when it came to the policy or the argument to vote for the Democrats. Why did Ohio, all these swing states that had already voted to actually legislate that it's okay to have AB in their states, why did they go red? They've already voted on AB and legislated it in their state.
Why do you think they did? I mean,
I'm asking you. I mean, it's your question.
Well, what I'm not going to do is, I don't want to belabor the main thing that I think is the real issue in this country. So I'm going to just say, I'm shocked. Mika, thank you, Mika, for the galaxy. All right, Michael, but if you don't mind, I think, I'll say this. It goes back to that visual you painted in my mind. You had Kamala Harris, you had Donald Trump, and you had Tim Walz, right? And you said it was an easy pick. A lot of people like yourself would look at that and say, yeah, it's obvious Donald Trump is the right person. And I think that's what happened in a lot of states. A lot of people like you believe that Donald Trump is the right person for a strange reason, right?
But didn't that not, in your mind, clarify that it should be the state's choice? It should be up to each state. It shouldn't be a federal a law. I mean, it made it really clear because, okay, they voted Ohio, all these states that AB is allowed.
Yeah.
Do you
personally have an issue with AB?
I think it's there's two requirements: life of the mother and great.
So you think there needs to be restrictions around it? Is my point.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean,
the mother and the grape. I just can't imagine a 12-year-old girl, that happening to. And I think a lot of Republicans like me, we believe that, but the media and whoever makes us look like these demons, per se, that there's no exceptions. Well, come on.
But there are women who are suffering because of this, right? And that's kind of the other issue here. And that's why I think it should be addressed at a national level, not a state level, because whether we want to agree with it or not, there's women who right now do not have the health access to that kind of health care, all right? And, I get it on a moral level, right? I wouldn't do it. I totally understand that.
I really do appreciate you saying that.
You're welcome. All right. I mean, and I appreciate you hearing some of the feedback that you're hearing because, like I said, Donald Trump won. I'm not going to dispute that. I think Kamala did the right thing saying we need to engage in the peaceful transfer of power. All right. I'm not going to even, it is what it is. But I do think that there needs to be real conversations happening now about the impact of what may happen these next 4 years. Right. And I'm kind of going to get out of the way. I'm going to get out of the way and stop trying to warn people and say, he's this, he's that. No. It is now time to let people do what they need to do. He won.
Well, I think you should continue on, and I applaud you. I don't know if you and I could ever sit down and have a beer and talk together. I don't know.
Well, I don't drink. I don't drink.
But I think that, like you, and even people I do not agree with, I think it's very important what you've done and how you do it because it brings people into the fold. Okay. And it's up to each person then to do their homework. They can't just, be led by, some guy on TikTok, but you actually bring people into the fold. So I got to applaud you for that. So,
all right. Well, listen, Michael, I hope you continue to at least listen to what I have to say and what people on my side have to say as well. All right. Because like I told some of the other guests before you, it can't just be a one-way street. It can't be.
Sure.
Right. All right. Well, listen, Michael, I appreciate you. I got to move it on. All right. And talk to you next time. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give Michael a round of applause. All right. This is Michael Rubenstein. That's an interesting conversation. All right. That is a very, very interesting conversation. All right. Let's move it along, ladies and gentlemen. Let's move it along. Who do we have? Who do we have next? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I have so many lovely people. All right. All right. Good morning, Ange. How are you doing, Ange? Welcome to the show. Oh, Ange, where did you go? I thought you were coming up, all right, but I guess it took too long to get you up here, all right. Who is next? Who is next? All right. Oh my God, look at all of these wonderful folks that I need to talk to. I really do need to talk to every single one of you. All right, let's move it along then. All right. Oh, there you are. Okay, I thought there was an issue. Let's go. I thought there may have been an issue. Come on up here, Ange. What do you got for us?
Oh,
Heather, you're back. Your count's okay, Heather? Interesting.
not happy with the last guest at
Why?
all.
Why?
Because he's controlling. You can tell if he has a significant other, he's controlling them.
Really?
Absolutely, 100%.
Got it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He said something about feminism and
Oh
basically
yeah.
that needs to stop, and that's
W.
why
Rick in the chat.
they
Thank
won.
you.
That's why
But
they won.
But you know what? We're hearing more of this now that they won, right? And that's the interesting thing. Because I think prior to all of this, it was more about policy, right? The conversations were mainly about policy, but now we're kind of I think we're getting somewhere. We might not like what we hear, but I think we're really addressing the real issues.
Well, as a woman, I find him to be very narcissistic, very controlling, and part of the reason why we didn't win. Sorry, that's just my opinion. He was a white man that he wouldn't even want a woman in there, let alone a black woman. And at this point, Zeus, even though we're talking about policy, I think there's a lot of us women that are frustrated. When will there ever be a woman president? Ever? They treat us. There's the double standard. They just don't think that we are capable. These men on the other side, they don't think we are capable, and it's very frustrating. She was more qualified. She was, in my opinion, one of the most qualified people to ever have that position. And it's frustrating. And I can't, you're nicer than me. I cannot come together with people that think that women are not capable. I just can't.
Well, I don't know if I don't know if I can either, but like I said, I think we're getting to the point where we're seeing what really contributed to the victory, right? And for me, I feel like I spent a lot of time hearing about policy, right? It was unemployment, no, from in general. It was like the immigration, the economy, eggs. We even went that far. Eggs, Ange. We were arguing about eggs and bacon.
I do agree with that.
Gas too, but we know it wasn't really that, right?
It's not that. I just keep saying that you red hats will be treated just like us people that did not vote for him. That is not what authoritarians do. He will not treat you any better. He's not going to say, "Oh, that person wore a red hat, so I'm going to change my mind on doing mass deportation." And maybe I should be quiet about this, but I feel like there was a lot of people that voted for somebody that wants to deport them. And a lot of women of my color, of what I look like, again, he didn't want to talk about race, but let's get real here. Let's just be real here. It's a woman and a black woman. And I feel like a woman will just never be given a chance. Why do these men think they're better? than us. Why? So they can take their policy, and what they're going to find out, Zeus, what they're going to find out, I'm FAFO. That's all. That's the way I feel.
What do you think? What do you think they're going to find out, Ange?
That the economy will not get better. The border will not be better. Literally everything he said he will do, he's not going to do. He will not do it. He's more concerned with, he is on a revenge tour with all of the people that he felt like, you know, like Jack Smith and Liz Cheney and people like that.
Yeah.
That is what he's going to do. I don't think he's going to help the American people. Look at when they put, when the Republicans got control of the House, what have they done for us?
Well,
nothing.
Repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act.
They did?
I mean, that's what they were trying to do. They almost did it, right? But they might try it this time. You know, they might do what they're trying to do. I mean, I think I saw one post on X where they said something like, haha, we actually do know what Project 2025 is, and yes, that's our agenda.
Yeah,
I saw that.
But will it be better? His entire presidency, he said he was going to repeal and replace, and he didn't. He didn't do any of those things. He mismanaged that pandemic to the point that that's why we are with the economy. It's going to take a long time to recover from what he did. And these people are so ignorant and low info and uneducated. And he's taking away programs that would have helped them. Head Start. He wants to dismantle. He wants to take that away. That is so serious.
But a hard head makes for a soft.
Happen is,
go for it.
No, you go. It's your show.
A hard head makes for a soft. You know what? And I don't think we're gonna get anywhere. This is just me, and you don't have to agree with me at all. But I don't think we are going to get anywhere trying to convince them, that the decision that they made is going to have a negative impact. Thank you for the galaxy, Deborah.
For themselves. And they'll have to see it for themselves.
And you know what? I support them in that, right? I mean, that's what they want to do. I mean, I live in a state where some of the stuff that they want to do, we got things in place to combat it. Yes. I believe you do as well. But my heart does go out sometimes to the people who are in these red states and might be negatively impacted by this stuff and don't have support systems. I kind of got to go. I just wish all the best. And I really, because these are serious issues that have a direct impact on a lot of people. They may not understand. Yeah, they might not have understood how. Right. And I don't know if you were here earlier, but that gentleman, I think his name was Brian, he acknowledged that it was Hispanics voting for Donald Trump, and it was in their own worst interest. And it was because they got conservative values, even if it does cause them harm. I said, you know what?
Do you agree?
I have no choice. The proof is in the pudding.
Well, it's same here.
Yeah, the proof is in. So, you just got to kind of let people move on with their lives. And like you said, you and I think we did an outstanding job warning them. And It is what it is. All right. Well, all right.
Can I just say one more thing? I mean, look at when they took over the House. It took 15 rounds just to get their speaker, and they booted him out about 9 months later. Wow. And I kind of see that potentially happening for them. I hope it doesn't, because that will hurt us too.
Yeah.
So that's all I want to say.
Well, listen, keep up the good work, though. All right, Ange, and
I'll try.
We'll try our best,
I'll
right?
Try.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up to the
Thanks
beautiful
for having me.
Ange. No lies detected. No lies detected. All right, I want to talk to my good friend, Law of the Wild. Sorry, I'm doing it. I just made it a little exception. It's sorry. It's going to be okay. Good morning, Law of the Wild. How are you doing, my good friend?
I'm in theirs. How about you?
Just another day out here on these TikTok streets fielding a lot of these tough conversations.
Well, good for you for giving a space for people to reflect. I think a lot of us we forget that TikTok is not the real world. We saw day after day. You've probably talked to thousands of people over the past 2 years.
Yep.
That this campaign has been going on. We saw the people who thought that they were the best of the MAGA suit up and get ready for battle and get completely annihilated on every single policy discussion.
Yeah.
So these were the people who considered themselves well informed, ready to go to battle to defend their policies, and they just got annihilated over and over again.
Right.
And that's just a small microcosm of the people who were actually facing at the ballot box. And where I think there's the biggest issue is when in politics, when you're explaining, you're losing. And Kamala Harris had an objectively better economic plan, but it was 82 pages. And nobody was going to go and read that. So we were in the position of over and over again explaining to people against their own preconceived notions of her policy, while Trump's policies fit on a bumper sticker. No taxes on overtime, right? How many times did we hear that?
I've heard it a lot.
Yeah.
No tax on tips.
No tax on tips. Build the wall. Shut down the border. All of these things which he cannot do. He can't do it. And if he does, it's going to put us into economic oblivion.
Yeah.
But it feeds into people's own desires and own narratives. And then we're put in the position of trying to explain to them why that what they're thinking, what Donald Trump is saying is essentially a lie, that he can't do it. He can't shut down the border. He cannot do that. But yet they believe it because he said that he's going to do it. And if it's on a bumper sticker and it fits into their own preconceived notions.
Yeah.
So I think that's where we're at, that if the Democrats want to gain some ground, they're going to have to find those issues and make it fit on a bumper sticker, put those narratives in. When the theme of the campaign is we're not going back, to a lot of people that means like we're not going back to low gas prices. We're not going back to to eggs being $4 a gallon. Just joking around with that. So
I mean, you have
that's
a point.
my hot take.
You have an argument about it. So with that being said, though, is this a situation where we Democrats may have actually gotten away from our voter base, and maybe we need to work on figuring out a way to reconnect with our base a lot better because of the messaging?
Yeah, I think the base is important too, because we'll see more of the numbers that as they get fleshed out. But at least unlike exit polling, we definitely maintained with a lot of the core. Trump gained on the Latino males and then young people for some reason.
Yeah.
Particularly young males went out there. But then when you look at the main issues, economy was like 44% of on people's minds, and then immigration was like 28%. And I felt like those are the two issues that we had to be continually explaining away, because when Donald Trump says, no tax on overtime, that's gonna leave us hundreds of billions of dollars in deficit that he just says he's going to make up with tariffs. And people say, great, China pays for the tariffs, even though that's not how it works. But we have to sit there and explain it to them because they're so low information and they don't know. And some people got it, but the overwhelming majority of the people who just suited up and were ready for battle didn't get it. And that speaks nothing to the people who didn't show up on TikTok, who didn't bother looking into anything beyond what the bumper sticker said.
Wow. I agree. I mean, whether we like it or not, their man won. And we, like you said, we went to battle. I think we did a good job, not just winning the battles, but actually giving people fair warning. And still they turned around and they supported Donald Trump. So that speaks to the larger issue, in my opinion.
Yep, I would agree with you there, sir.
Yeah. Now, path forward, what do you recommend people do out here, all right, to get back on the horse and continue to engage, all right?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody needs to find the issues that they're passionate about, and then become, an evangelist for those issues. The ACLU is gearing up for a lot of battles on the legal front, and I know a lot of
Okay.
you guys say, the Supreme Court will just overturn things or whatever. Keep in mind that the Supreme Court receives thousands of petitions every single year, and they take about 100 cases. So there's a lot of victories that can be had on the legal front. So I'm passionate about immigration,
Okay.
about
Okay.
free speech and things like that. So ACLU, the American Association of Immigration Attorneys, also a good resource. But find those things that you're passionate about that you can be a voice for,
That
and
part.
then you can be the change in that world. It's really amazing when you mobilize a small amount of people, the amount of influence that you can have on your state legislatures,
Amen.
and even your Congress people, and your state legislatures can serve as a backstop for a lot of these issues.
There
So if
you go.
If you mobilize with people, I'm serious. If you guys get 12 people to show up to a legislator's office 3 or 4 times during the session, you'll get them to pass whatever you want to pass, because they know that those are 12 people who are going to do everything that they can do to either keep them in power or take them out of power. And
Amen.
if there's one thing a politician cares more about than anything else, is maintaining their power.
That part. Well, listen up, my good friend, brother Law of the Wild. I love your positivity. I love your advice and the feedback you've given us. All right. And please feel free to continue to come on back. All right.
Love you, Zeus. You take
Love you
care and
too.
keep doing what you're doing.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, W's in the chat for Law of the Wild. Seriously. All right. Well, listen up, ladies and gentlemen. Big Zeus has other affairs to tend to in the kingdom, all right? But this was a great step in the right direction in terms of getting us back on track as a country. And you know what I mean, all right? But in the meantime, in between time, I got to get up out of here, all right? You all deserve a round of applause. Thank you to all of the panelists, the moderators. Oh, no. Hold on. You didn't bring me up because I would have cooked you. Moderate Republican, come on back tomorrow. I'll be back. Don't worry. Listen, Olympus is going to continue to be ran one way or another, champ. Don't worry. You're not going to say anything to change anything. All right. I'm going to still continue to take care of business. Just make sure you come on back. All right. But yeah, like I said, I want to give my moderators, my panelists, my gifters, and my subscribers a huge round of applause. My fellow Democrats, keep up the good work. All right. You know what we're going to do. But like I said, I'm more interested in rebranding and repositioning Zeus, all right, so that I could win next time. Because like I told you a couple of days ago, one of the things that I hate the most is I hate losing, and I really hate losing. But you know what? I'll concede when necessary. All right, and also, all right, maybe not everyone likes Zeus. All right, so maybe they need to hear this. If you're a Zeus hater, this is for you. If you're a Zeus hater. I've been really nice today, all right? So you shouldn't even be a Zeus hater, all right? But if you are, that was for you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, take care and have a great rest of your morning. I'll be back tomorrow, same Zeus time, same Zeus channel. Someone says, Zeus, what channel? What time? 6:30 a.m. Pacific time, all right? I have no reason to run, all right? So if I didn't get to you today, come on back tomorrow. We'll finish this up, all right? Have a great rest of your morning. Have a great rest of your morning, ladies and gentlemen. We'll survive this, all right, Heaven? I saw you up late last night, Heaven, cooking. Keep up the great work, brother. Have a great rest of your morning. Janaini, I think I pronounced that right. Love you too. Hey, 7 alter ego. Asalari, I think it's your name. Thank you for the subscription. Boss Lady, thank you so much for the subscriptions. Wow. Scoops, thank you for the subscription. You guys are so kind. Defeat does not mean defeated. All right, yeah. And I don't mind doing the work. Because like Kamala Harris said, hard work is good work, right? And we love good work. Hey, we will win. connecting the dots, Q-Dog? You want me to connect them? Gotta connect the dots, all right? You really do. Yeah, we get better in the off season. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, where you been at? Oh, I've been in the gym. Doing some of that heavy lifting, as you said, Q-Dog. Valerie! Valerie, you're so hilarious. Keep up the good sense of humor. Straight backs, keep it going, straight backs. Keep on cooking. You want me to dance for you? Woo! Connect those dots if you can't connect them. And stop being a Zeus hater. Because Zeus is for the people. You know that? Zeus is for the people. But I'm a Democrat, and so you know what that means. Ultimately, you're going to end up becoming a Democrat, hanging out with Big Zeus and getting in line and falling. Snuggles, I'll never apologize if I had something to apologize. All right, if I did, I'd say something, but no apologies necessary. You can take that up with my boss. Yeah. Take that up with my boss and tell him how upset you are with Zeus. Hey, Snuggles, look at that. You see that? No strings attached. I am not a hand puppet. I am not a head puppet. All right, you're right, Mr. Mount Negro. All right, all right. They said they want to hear drill, baby, drill. All right, we'll get that out of the way too. Drill, baby, drill, we're still drilling over here. Yeah, I can't stop it, alright? Gonna drill. Hannibal Lecter. We're gonna drill, baby, drill. What?
Insane asylums. You know, they go crazy when I say the late, great Hannibal Lecter.
And why is that? What are we gonna do?
We're going to lower your taxes.
Okay, lower those taxes.
Deep insane asylums. You know, they go crazy when I say the late, great Hannibal. Drill, 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 baby, drill.
Hey, you got to be able to drill and frack. We're going to lower your taxes. Deep insane asylum. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am out of here. Have a great rest of your morning. I'll see you all tomorrow if you can make